Hello everyone and welcome back to Star Wars Empire at War with the Fall of the Republic mod. We are going into this episode with one primary objective today and then we'll take it from there. We are immediately going to launch an invasion on Mon Calamari. So let's just get our reinforcing troops over here. Wait for the game to catch up, come over with our ground units, and of course we will just hop on over with our space units just to make sure we are not going to be hindered by any, of course, space stations there. There shouldn't be the case. We have just had that issue, so we are going to go over and immediately launch down with some B1 Marines and launch onto Mon Calamari. Let's go. So this should be a fairly simple battle. We are going to launch mostly some B2s to begin with, as they are a hybrid between light anti-vehicle and some decent anti-infantry. And I think we're going to launch with 2 units of dwarf spider droids. We're also going to, I think, come with actually a military field base over here. Quite a straightforward map. It is pretty much just this bridge with all of the enemy fortifications at the other side. So let's speed up, get a turret up over here to protect our landing zone, and just carry on forwards immediately there. Should be a fairly straightforward battle. We might actually go for holding this victory objective rather than pushing all the way into the enemy's base, of course. It might just be a tad easier if we do get critical mass and can hold that. It shouldn't be particularly difficult. Just make sure we do capture these command posts though to help us out. And these build pads, of course. So let's go over to the first one. Should just be around here. We do get a sensor array along with that on the way. Should just be this side of the building, so you can see we're not able to move just here. That means it's just there, blocking our path. And just catch up with our B1s over here, I think. So this next command post is only going to let us drop 3 more units down. That's absolutely fine. What we might bring are some AATs, of course, possibly Count Dooku for some command, and some Spider Walkers, I'm thinking. As it's, from what I remember, this is largely an infantry-based army and garrison, but I think they do have a light vehicle factory at least, or something to bring out some sort of TX-130s maybe. Let's come back with a back to healing station at the flank here, and we do have the extra sight now from the sensor array over here. Just make sure to capture the build post over here. We can see some enemies coming in with a Hulk droid. That's absolutely fine. Then we're going to build a support base over here. That's absolutely fine. Build a anti-infantry gun here. Make sure we do deal with that Hulk droid, because that does do rather a decent amount of damage. Looks like they're building some sort of turret themselves over here. Don't want that to happen, because that will hurt us quite a bit. So let's pull back with our dwarf spiders, because they can't stand up to infantry very well at all. They're not made for it whatsoever. We'll pull back over here towards our anti-infantry gun. I think we will bring in Count Dooku, and I'll bring in some spider droids, spider walkers, and there we go. Just bring them into our critical mass over here. And of course we do have some speeders, not very good at all for us. We should demolish those with our wrist rockets fairly easily. Looks like we're having a bit of trouble with this deceptively flat terrain here. We will pull back. We can see some more clones and such coming in here with another Hulk droid. They do have the Mon Calamari helping them over here. You can see the indigenous population. They're not garrisoning over here, which is absolutely fine for us. That's great. Has Dooku landed? He certainly has. Let's bring him over to help us out. He will shred the infantry. Make sure that we are healing people where possible. I think what we'll do is we'll go around with our other forces just to capture the build pads over here and start gaining some ground, because I think we've lingered on this particular command post long enough. Just make even more forward defences there, just to make sure we can hold our own ground. But once we take this is our final rear, most rear pockets closed up, which is absolutely brilliant. So these defences aren't going to be needed in the future, you'd hope. Really is only for this particular mission. Let's push on forwards on this side and try and get on this next command post. We have a lot of dwarf spiders actually over there. Let's try and bring over some more B1s and such to support them, because these spider walkers won't do absolutely everything you need. And here we go, it's finally some TX-130, so we're going to try and focus that down with actually basically everything here. And that should go down fairly easily indeed. What do we have over here? We have a anti-vehicle turret actually, so it's a good thing we put our infantry on that side because it will completely shred this spider walker group. That's absolutely brilliant, so we're taking care. It's just being slowed down by the meat shields of these Mon Calamari, but I do love some good fried calamari myself. Let's get Dooku onto the enemy clones. Start dealing with the PDF forces. Dooku shall deal very, very well. What do we have over here? Some more PDFs. Corporate security. Interesting. Let's bring up over here. Try and capture the command post, of course. And give Dooku a bit of hand. And I think what we'll do is actually build another back to healing station ourselves. And just form some critical mass on this side. We're going to need some help against this ACRC. That will pose a small threat against Dooku. And what we'll do is actually just lightning down this group. Excellent stuff. Deal with the Mon Calamari. And that needs to be dealt with. We do see another TX-130. So what we'll do is pull back with Dooku over here. Bring up with our dwarf spiders. We do actually have the command post over here. And the dwarf spiders will absolutely shred because we have that mass of them now. The TX-130s. Bring up a bit over here. Need to watch out for Dooku's health, but we do see the victory point over here. Let's just retreat Dooku a tad, because even though we did lose Admiral Trench, we don't want to start losing Dooku. And we'll get some crabs down, because they do have a little more stain and attack power than our standard droids. What do we have over here? Some ARC troopers will cause us some trouble, and we'll get rid of this anti-air weapon. However, there's another TX-130, perhaps the final of the squad. We have only seen 3, including this one. Rather interesting that they've been broken up so much. Well, that is dealt with very handily indeed, and we're going to push on forwards to this victory objective and just sit and hold this. I think it should not be much of a problem at all once we clear this area here. And in fact they are retreating, so they know what's good for them, and that is actually a fairly straightforward victory indeed. Just a slow, steady push with critical mass. And that's, you know, our pocket secured, as it says. So that's an excellent gain for us there. And of course, Mon Calamari, I believe, we double check, is in fact yet a dreadnaught shipyard once again. So we're certainly going to get on that. We have a space battle all the way down here at Tinner, though. Really should have seen this coming. That means we need to, you know, get these extra pockets. But, you know, down here is going to be very, very difficult indeed. We do have Grievous about to counter-initiate, so we're going to also resolve that. And what we're going to do is very quickly pause where possible and come down, double check what we want to bring in first with Grievous. I think just a Munifex over here and immediately come to counter-initiate, because I don't think we can hold that on the ground. I would love that to come in as quickly as possible. Not seeing the stack rise just yet, and it is just a couple acclimators actually, so that's rather embarrassing that we had to lose that. So I'm just going to go in and do this very quickly.
I am not programmed to feel, but this brings me slight amusement. Ha, ha, ha.
And there we go, that was actually very easy indeed. We just need to pay a small reparations there for the damage. That's excellent. So we should be coming close to actually finishing a mission very soon. Umbara is under attack. That's rather a nasty force indeed. That's not too far away. Grievous should be able to get there to counter-initiate, but possibly too late. And if that's the case, we are going to be under a lot of stress there, because we do only have the barracks. We do have a hero, but he's pretty much just a commando droid squad as far as utility goes. And that's rather unlucky, because that will be a mining facility we'll have pretty much lost there essentially. Yeah, Grievous does actually need to fight through at least Deco and Amoidia. Would technically be quicker to go through Kalarin and Mimban. We might have to do that, and that's some raiding we get out of the way as well actually. So we're going to auto-resolve this, unfortunately. We did actually destroy a victory there, but they've got plenty more. They have 7 victories in that fleet. Rather nasty indeed. Let's go through this. We've got another one here. Let's go straight in. We're going for a very simple strategy, which is just let Grievous tank and of course deal a lot of damage. Focus, oh they do actually have a hypervelocity cannon here. We did not think to scout ahead, but that's absolutely fine. Get Grievous to focus down the victory, because that's the main, you know, ship-to-ship combat style there. We are going to have to tank. Yeah, we're going to lose immune effects. So it's absolutely not a problem. Waiting for our own fighters to come out because that's rather a bother. It didn't come out too quickly. But not to worry. Not going to lose too much because of that. So that's all good. In fact, the victory is down and acclimated shall be coming down very soon indeed because we focus fire with our immune effects and munificence and such. That is excellent. Let's completely focus this one down. Make sure we are fighting the enemy bombers there. Got some more point defense and more, just more critical mass and going to reduce the enemy by one more ship once again. Let's get our bombers on to the dreadnaughts over here. They are being chased by some enemy fighters, but not to worry. Really not to worry. We do have critical mass there. We're going to start destroying some decent hard points there. Let's get focused on here, shall we? So we can certainly tank one or two hypervelocity cannon shots with Grievous here, and that's absolutely brilliant. We certainly want to be doing that with him. We don't want to be taking any on our munificence, but of course it's not exactly up to us who the enemy fires at with that, is it? Of course, nothing ever really goes away in these games. We're ripping apart these things. I love the Subjugator so much. It's such a great capital ship to have. Let's get our bombers over to the enemy Haven starbase there, if we can move away like that. We have destroyed the main enemy fleet there, so we're going to take another hypervelocity cannon hit there, but once again, Grievous not really losing anything there, so just need to watch out for the engines, but we're not planning on retreating, of course, so I don't think we need to at all. It would be quite the shame if we did. It would be quite horrible and quite embarrassing there. Do see some Krelling corvettes and such over here. We're going to have to move forwards and just completely wipe out this shipyard here. Once again, we're going to have to do hop over onto the next enemy base to raid that and then get onto our real quarry, and hopefully we'll get there in time to stop the enemy land invasion, because I don't want to lose Umbara. Although it's quite a minor enemy hero, it is still another enemy hero, or minor hero of ours, sorry, that we will possibly lose if we do have to fight a land vessel there. Thinking of when we're destroying Anakin and Ahsoka and such on Naboo, which is quite the find. We're going to have to finish that up as soon as possible. We do still have, I believe, Rex over there, the clone commander on Naboo. Had to sidestep a tad for a mission, but our bombers are absolutely ripping apart this shipyard, and that's absolutely brilliant. That's exactly what bombers are great for. That's in destroying capital ships in large swarms and such, which is brilliant. And Grievous has really done an excellent job with tanking there. So I think, where possible, we want to get another subjugator out. But really, I'm looking for a Lucrehulk battleship. And there's another shot coming out. And that's rather nasty, but it looks like the enemy's got some sort of land units over here. Let's get our fighters over as quickly as possible. Try and deal with that. Should have seen that and brought our immune effects over as quickly as possible. Interestingly, they're not retreating, but we don't actually have access to any mines to stop them. Don't believe we can bring in anything either at the moment. We certainly can't. No interdiction mines to stop the enemy retreating, but that's okay. It's just one little transport here that we're going to have to deal with. Let's get an attack move order off, and that be absolutely brilliant. Easy game. Easy game. So what exactly was that we caught? We did lose two immune effects, but not to worry. UT-80 is actually a rather nasty piece of equipment there, so it's good to get rid of that. Let's immediately move on to Mimban, but no, we're going to have to fight at Umbara, and I don't think we're going to be able to win this. It's going to be rather tough. Some artillery is going to make that particularly difficult, as well as the 5 ATTs we see there. But we are going to put up a bit of a fight. Let's try and give it a go. Now, of course, Umbara, the famous scene where General Krell slaughtered a massive amount of clones. What we're going to do is, I think, just capture a point and retreat, to be honest. There's not a lot we can do here, really, at all. So we're going to come over here and actually try and find some sort of... we'll bring back our own units over here, our own hero. Don't want to lose him. We'll retreat specifically to, of course, save our hero. As minor as I may say he is. And I think what we're going to do is set up some artillery, try and get 1 or 2 kills if possible. We are going to have to retreat. Let's try and garrison in here, actually. Come around. Where'd our artillery go?
Beginning construction.
Bring everything down a tad.
Blast incoming.
Construction complete.
Taking a while to deploy, actually. It might have been an idea to really rush that command point. We'll send over some droids. Have a look. I really can't remember where I put... Here we go, what have we got? So we've got TX-130 and our loss of clones infantry here. Lots of infantry. Let's pull back. Where is that artillery piece? This is only light artillery, so it doesn't quite have the range that we're looking for.
Negative on visual scan.
Okay, so let's try and pull back here, get some more mass over. Bring back over here, defend with this droidica, get our dwarves on there. Should just focus the TX-130s because they are going to be tough. They are absolutely going to be tough. Get our artillery set up because not the largest of maps to begin with. Really focus the TX-130s. In fact, direct this over specifically to deal with that. I think what we do actually is come around the side with a few B2s. And there's the UC, AC, and the ATTs. It's absolutely disgusting. Let's sit over here then. Do still have the garrison there. Let's get up a couple anti-tank guns. Try and hold off a tad over here and actually capture the command post behind the enemy's backs. Pull back once again. The artillery is doing some work there, and we'll get actually some critical mass once again on this command post because the enemy is trying to focus that down. Not getting loads and loads of damage off there, but he has a lot of enemies over here. Let's take this, focus down these. Come on, so focus them down. Focus them down. Come on. That's really not what I've asked you to do, guys. It's rather frustrating. That's going to be rather an issue. It is rather an issue actually. Can we emergency build there? No, we can't. That's absolutely fine. And what's a sacrifice there? Really not doing a lot of work, but they have actually taken the build pad. Must be an idea to actually get rid of the clones because of course the tanks actually cannot contest, can they? So they're just going to capture that again. Let's try and hold off here and draw them into the double. Actually, the double turrets over there. What have we got over here? Just finishing this off. Another speeder, not to worry, that's all good. Go straight in. Looks like they're landing something else there. Just pepper them with the artillery, of course. Certainly do that. Pull back a tad. What are we doing over here? Another UC-80 there. That is absolutely disgusting. We're not going to bring this in. They have some Hulk droids now. Rather nasty indeed. Rather nasty. I think really, once we destroy these two over here, it might be time to retreat. So let's focus these down. Not quite in range of our turrets yet, which is rather a bother. Rather a bother indeed, actually.
Move back.
Did lose all the infantry over here, unfortunately.
Identified targets. Move back. Incoming blast. Look out.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's pull back a tad, try and get this, and then we will call a retreat. Come on, there we go. Now we call the retreat. So that we can save our hero at least. And that's rather sad that we've had to do that. But it's a bit of a, a bit of a defence there. You've got to give it to us. Shame we couldn't get anything more. But it's nice to save all of those units. We did actually destroy 2 ATTs in the TX-130 group. Thought we got a UT-80 at some point, but not to worry. Not to worry. We can certainly come back. And we can put pressure on this really horrible fleet, actually, with Grievous, I think. What do they have over here? That's a large group. That's 7 victories. That is going to be somewhat tough, but not to worry. They have a massive group over here. We've caught something. We may have to retreat from this ourselves. This is going to be rather scary. Okay, so I think we've struck the mother lode. We have an invincible dreadnaught of Venice, lots of acclamators, and a victory star destroyer. Rather interesting. We have a fleet commander here, which is rather interesting. So it's a very minor hero. Barely even call them a hero, to be honest, but that will provide them with some sort of boost. We're going to need to go very heavy onto the fighters and such over here. And we do, of course, need some sort of... I think we bring in the... I don't think we necessarily need one of these, but they will bring in more fighters and bombers. Pull that back then, and just bring in at the rear some more of these. And we will need at least one more Munifex here for ion cannon purposes. And for more damage, I think really we're going to be carried by our fighters and bombers for now. So let's pull in. Okay, so what we're going to do with the Grievous, we're going to certainly focus down actually these frigates to begin with. Get onto these Arctons, already dead there. To make way for our fighters and bombers, I think. Already ripping apart an Acclimator as well. Excellent stuff. I believe that was a Acclimator 2 actually, rather interestingly. And here we go, here come our fighters. Let's pull and get to the bombers. We're taking a lot of damage already on Grievous. We may have to actually retreat from this. We'll watch our engines then for that case, because we're getting a lot of fighters and bombers on our own ships here. That's rather nasty. Let's actually focus and defend this for a tad. Try and get that down. Get onto here. Yeah, we're losing a lot. Let's run away. Run away. Rather shamefully here, because they do have the critical mass of the fighters and bombers there, and that's absolutely going to rip Grievous apart. That's rather unlucky. A lot of backwards and forwards already. Going to have to give some ground here, unluckily. But we did pepper them, got rid of a couple of things. I really don't want to have to lose anything from Grievous. He will get away, and we can upgrade him once again, but it's probably not worth it. Oh, they dropped down. That's rather nasty. They've dropped down a mine just here. There it is. Okay, so what do? We get our fighters straight on over there, I think. That's nasty. And this is the importance of scouting right here. Let's focus down the Acclimator simply because we can get it down quickly. Let's get this victory. So we'll do that once again. Game's struggling to keep up here. Can we bring in any more reinforcements? Need some more carriers. Frigates of our own here. I guess on something here. Might just have to say goodbye to Grievous if we can't get this down. It's rather sad. But once again, we will be able to upgrade him. That's okay. Enemy finally pulling in some big guns. Let's get rid of this Acclimator because we didn't quite finish that off, so we do get some permanent kills here. Is that mine coming down? Come on. Come on, so that's going down. Let's quickly press retreat once again. We do still have some engines with Grievous, so he's not going to die here. Unless they put down another mine, that would be rather nasty. Watch out for that. Come on, is he going to survive the next few seconds? Can we get rid of this? Can't issue any orders, of course, when we retreat, but that's absolutely fine. I'd rather just survive. Come on. Come on. Come on. And we get out. Has to be very, very close. And there, oh, there we go. That has got me sweating. That really has got me sweating. How the hell did we only lose a single Munifex in that? But they're on Acclimator 2s, that's rather interesting. Just means we progressed eras enough for that. So we got rid of 2 Arctons fairly easily. Acclimator, that's all good. So it just means we've got to say goodbye to Umbara and make sure they do get over here somehow and think about that in the future. So, whilst this strength of defences is finished, we get an interceptor frigate at Sereno. That's excellent. So let's take a pause, let's take a quick break. What we could do is actually go to Umbara, but I think we need to get some more reinforcements with Grievous, perhaps some more munificence. We've got 7 of those. It's rather interesting. More frigates, I think, to be honest. We do have the makings of a decent frigate type fleet here. Might want to build that around some Omnis, maybe, or even a Lucrehawk itself there, and some Omnis to support. Do we actually have enough money for any of those? We certainly do. And we're going to go for a battleship, I think, over here. And that means this particular fleet will be complete, pretty much. We have enough carriers to centre around, and that's excellent. However, let's just make sure we what we're doing over here. We know what we're doing. So, doesn't look like we took anything particular with that mission. That's okay. I think we'll just find Sereno, and that's actually right in this little pocket over here, and that's just a couple of the minor interceptors. They are more missile based if I remember correctly. They do have some light concussion missiles, so fairly decent frigates if you ask me. Nothing too bad. Can we actually build anything else over here worthwhile? Might be worth guessing, of course, another tax collection agency there. Let's see, what do we want to do next? Let's go back down here, and because we were talking about taking Malastare previously. That's not necessarily a bad idea at all, but we are going to make sure we scout that out. Build a shipyard over here. And what we'll do is start bringing things over for a land invasion, I think. What do we actually have around here? I think most of our things are on a Pantora, perhaps. Yeah, it looks to be the case. Let's bring over... stats, don't necessarily need them. Some infantry and tanks are what I want. What's this happened? Conquer Ethor for a Lookhawk core destroyer. That's not really ideal, but we can certainly have a look. We should have some decent forces over here. Probably push through Wayland. Actually, we can take stuff from Maigito's Scipio. That's not necessarily a bad idea. Does open us up to a lot of enemy trade routes and stuff, but not to worry. We can certainly think about that. Let's go back down over here first, though. And I'll just make sure we know where our things are here. Ryloth and Geonosis. I think we'll just take the forces from Ryloth to begin with. Which actually does need some reinforcing of its own there. Let's come down to Pantora. And we'll just spy over here. It's actually, okay, this is fairly well guarded. It's another 2 advanced factories to bring out some A5s and ACTs. And they're all concentrated in one corner, so I'd imagine we'd drop up here. Not particularly difficult, but we do need some anti-vehicle once again. And that's going to come from our Ryloth forces, and they can come around over here and pick up stuff as needed. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so this should again be a fairly straightforward battle. I think we go infantry heavy to begin with, get some meat shield B1s there. But we do of course need some sort of anti-vehicle, and I'm thinking once again some dwarf spiders and some AATs for some harder anti-vehicle there. We're also going to go with a support field base to begin with, and you know what, we do get immediate access to a sensor array over here, so that's excellent.
Turret constructing.
We'll of course pick that up with the build pad next to it. So there's an infantry only path over here, straight to a command post. We could try and do that. Actually, probably should have thought about that before we landed our tanks, but not to worry. What we'll do is bring this over. Not too keen on that. What we can do is actually bring over, and we'll go the long way around, try and capture these buildings on the sides as well as this 4-point command post there. That's excellent. What we will do though is actually garrison here with some B1s with the support of the anti-infantry turret, and just to secure our flank here, I think. And that is some repair droids there, so that'll be very useful. We can't quite garrison them anymore, but so not to worry. What we'll do is just drop these here anyway, so we do protect our own flank properly. Try and get on top of these buildings. We can see the enemy has taken this command post already, so we're going to have to just make sure we get in front with our B1s and 2s here. And we can see already they're coming across, so it looks like some speeders already. Yeah, that's rather nasty. Good thing we've got some garrison cover. What do we have over here? Looks like a heavy vehicle factory has been abandoned, which is excellent for us. Gives us some more tank support there. Let's move over, actually capture this command post. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So we can't quite hold up against everything here. It's a lot of speeders. It's a lot of speeders. And I see a TX-130, yes, because it can go over water, of course, which is rather fun. We are getting critical mass over here, and we have made it to this command post fairly handily, so that's all good. Let's actually build a healing station here. Can see, oh okay, it's just a shadow of some animals over there, not to worry. The speeders do actually count as some sort of light vehicles, so our normal infantry blasters aren't doing too much against them when they're mounted up like that. That's where the dwarf spiders actually help a fair bit. Quite the unsung heroes of that sort of engagement there. Let's pull back over here, get some more infantry down, I think. Get some crabs down. Because we have actually lost this command post, can't bring in everything we need. It's actually rather a toughie because of that. Let's change to concussion missiles and actually get some decent firepower going. Firehouse over here gets the crabs firing immediately. We really need them to rinse this infantry over here. Protect our dwarf spiders, I think, because they are dying in droves. And here come the ATTs, and we will need the dwarf spiders for that, actually, just to help us out a bit. So let's try and micro us a tad better. Come on, oh, they're taking cover behind the buildings here. Let's move over. It's rather nasty, actually. Rather nasty indeed. Get a bombing run down, I think. Try and hold them into position there. Get some Octoptaras and B2s down, I think. Where's that bombing run? They're coming. They're coming. Lost the AATs, unfortunately. Here we go, though. And that came at just the right time, I think. But there will be more. There really will be more. Get some more B2s down. Push in with the Octoptaras over here. Get some help. I think we need to build a field base here. That may well have been destroyed previously. That's a lot of infantry. That's a lot of infantry. We will have bombardment available soon, but I don't think we necessarily need it just now. We really need to push over to another command post. So what we're going to do is get some crabs down and rush them over, I think. Just trying to hold our ground here where possible. What is shooties over? There's just a couple more clones there. A bit of trouble. Looks like they're mostly missing, which is interesting. There we go. Bloody hell. What a job. What a job. Let's instantly try and capture stuff over here and actually rush some crabs over here in this direction. And rush some forwards down here. What we'll do is get some more anti-infantry turrets up, I think.
We've secured a building. We've secured
There's a lot of resistance. Might actually end up losing those. We need to push on with these though, so we do have some support.
turret constructed.
Now I think we just push in as a massive whole group over here. I'm going to start losing things again. Pull back. This is one of the tougher fights we've had this series. That's the thing, if you let the enemy build, certainly start building quite hard and furiously. Where's that other Octoptar? We're getting some pathing problems. It's not wanting to move, and that means it's basically wasted. Useful, that. Get some range off over here, try and hold off the ATTE, get the Octoptar. I'd love to have two of them. Here we go. Bloody hell, imagine that. Is this a trampler? I believe it's trying to crush. It's trying to crush. Did go down. There's another one there. There's another one there. Let's get some crab droids over here. Oh dearie dear. This is a toughie. I'm going to get a bombardment down in a second, but I think we can basically take that as we are. Yeah, come on. Focus this, please. Get over here when you can, when possible, in your own time. Would be great. Taking that on, excellent. Let's bring in, I think, some light artillery would be great. Running out of infantry very quickly here. Very, very quickly indeed. Need to take this. I think really it might just be an idea to rush in with some stats and bombard their bases, really. Sit on top of it. Get some aid in down here. Come on. Losing that command post now. It's not great. It's not what we want. We could start losing the Octoptaras now. Pull back. Just crush the enemy infantry here. Said pull back. Rather unresponsive. It is annoying. She's pushing again. Crush them, please. There we go. That'll do. Oh dear. Okay, so let's make a repair station here. Try and bring back the optic tower if possible. It doesn't look like it wants to. Gets 2 units of stats. B1s, crabs would be great. We trample this arc trooper here. Would be great. Certainly can. Bloody hell. Optic tower just doesn't want to do as I say here. Build another repair station. I'm guessing attack here. Let's move that. Come on. Very, very vulnerable. The anti-infantry gun's not doing exactly what you want there.
Moving to destination.
Okay, off we go. Can't see a bloody thing behind these trees. Okay, let's repair these as well. Okay, so we're just waiting on our staps now. It's rather a shame. Let's get a field base over here. Rush straight down here. See if we can spot any anti-aircraft guns as well. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. In fact, there is one over there, but we can't stick around. Let's bombard the shit out of this heavy base over here. So we don't see any more tanks. Just puts their bombing run down here. That is going to have to go past the AA gun, unfortunately. Try and blast that one down. Might not be in time though. That's okay. It's okay, just about in time, and let's retreat through that. That will remove the heavy factory there. And that's excellent. So let's get some support over here. Oh dear, that might have to be the way to go once again. I think we just hold ground, really. Hold our ground. We're very, very close to a victory here. Let's push. Let's push. Heard that before. Sure, lots of commanders have lost because he said, let's just push a little bit more, just a little bit more. Getting greedy there, I think. I think we'll actually just support this artillery in case we do get flanked. And there we go. Just a few more pieces of resistance there. I didn't see an A5 actually come out from out of those factories, so that's probably a bad sign. We have to come in, I think we'll hit that with our artillery first. Did forget about this. Saddens me to say. Well, let's try and hit that then.
Beginning short range fire.
It's just a case of waiting for that. I'll take a few shots. Can always speed up. There we go. Let's try pull back a tad. Let the artillery do the work there. Come forwards actually with our tank droids. Come on, we can crush through them. We did actually remove the. Come on. Do as I say. There we go. Excellent stuff. Come back here, bombard this. Don't need to take too much time on that, do we? Got the CIS over there. We can always wait for another bombing run. Just don't want to lose anything more, really. It's been very, very costly already. Very, very costly already. That's going to take a bloody long time. Okay, so that bombing run done, that's finally the way to the base wide open there. So we are just going to go for it. Just going to have to go for it. Push forward with everything there. Get some sight onto the mining facility. Get some artillery fire on there while we can. And just storm through. What a bloody battle. But I mean, it frees up some PopCap in the galactic map. You can at least take that away from it. There we go, there's another bark speeder over here. There we go, come on. We've got another vehicle factory over here. Don't want to be seeing that at all. Don't want that to bring anything out, do we? You're rather nasty indeed. Must have run out of things though, but not seen any of these A5s about. Not seen any of these A5s whatsoever. Get a take some sort of damage over here from the turret. You can just come out of range for that though. Come on, look at this. Because they do counter some sort of vehicle unit, we get less accuracy and damage against those speeders. Alright, so that's the majority of things dealt with. Let's try and move over here for this extra command post and see what we can do about that. And we'll just have to mop up. Is a anti-infantry turret there. Didn't notice that. There we go. Just speed through. And of course, there's an anti-vehicle turret there. But the enemy is finally retreating. We finally put it to them. And that is the most disgusting battle. That's probably... yeah, that's the most losses I've taken in quite a while. Absolutely. But once again, fairly cheap on our side. We do of course have the credits to back that up, and Malastare is a fairly decent credit-making world with a mining station about. But funny enough, we don't actually have the credits after making that Luke Hulk. Oh, dearie, dearie me. But that is, unfortunately, all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a sweaty one. It's been a very, very sweaty one. And we're going to have to take a break. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video once again. The enemy is starting to, starting to push back a tad here. We've got a lot of nasty fleets coming out of nowhere, so we're going to have to raid their dreadnaught space stations, I would have to think. But we'll save that for the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the future. Goodbye.